am Kiranpreet Kaur from Makkar IELTS, and in the past few days I made few videos on writing the graphs in less than 10 sentences. The first video in the series was on line graphs, then there was another one on the pie charts, on the column graphs, and on the maps. There were many questions asked by the students in the comment section, and this video I have made to answer those frequently asked questions. First five questions are sort of general, and the next five are more specific to the graph writing. So it would be worthwhile. It's a very short video, less than 10 minutes. Just watch all these FAQs, frequently asked questions, so that your doubts are cleared. First question that is generally asked is, are graphs part of the IELTS academic or the IELTS general? Well, graphs are task 1 in the IELTS academic, while letters are the task 1 in IELTS general. If you are confused whether to take IELTS academic or IELTS general, then it's like academic is for further education and general is for permanent residency or PR. Now there are what are the types of graphs? This is the second question, and which is the most common? Mostly there are 7 types of graphs: bar, table, line, map, pie, process, combination of two like table and bar. And one thing which I noticed in the past 14 years, I have my book Academic IELTS Graphs from the past exams. All the graphs which my students would get, I would make them draw after they came out of the examination hall, and then make them into put them in my book. And this my book has a compilation of the graphs from the past 14 years, and what I kept noticing is that these graphs are being repeated. So from these graphs I have come to know that the most common is the bar, because my book has the maximum bar graphs. Second in the order of how they are seen in the exams, table. Third, line. Fourth is map. Fifth is pie. Sixth is process. And the seventh in the order of frequency is the combination of two graphs. So that is how this is the order in which I have written, is the order in which they are seen in the exams. So the bar become the most important because you have the maximum chances of getting a bar, but then you are taking only one exam, and any can come in your case, so you must be prepared for all these types of graphs. But my book has a thorough collection of all the graphs seen in the past 13-14 years. What is the appropriate length for task 1 graph? And the answer to this is that the lower limit is given, which is 150 words. They say don't write less than 150 words, but there is no upper word limit, and there is no penalty also for going over length. But if you spend more time on the graph, you might not be able to complete task 2, so try to write less than 200 words. How many bands are for the graph? The weightage of task 1 graph is 1/3 and task 2 essay is 2/3. Basically, your bands out of 9 are multiplied by 1/3 in case of graph and 2/3 in case of essay. For example, if you score 8 in graph and 6 in essay, your score would be 8 plus 6 plus 6, because 6 in essay the weightage is 2 times, and 8 in the graph 1 time 1/3 weightage. So this is 8 plus 6 divided by 3, which is 6.67, which on rounding off gives 6.5. How much time to spend on the graph? This you have to divide on your own. You can allot the graph your own time out of 1 hour, but ideally graph should not be given more than 20 minutes. Next question is, should we repeat words and use synonyms? The answer is very simple. Repeating a word 2 or 3 times doesn't result in a big band deduction, but using the wrong synonym, a comparatively bigger band deduction. So correctly used synonyms are better than repetition, of course. However, repetition is better than using the wrong synonym, because sometimes a wrong synonym changes the complete meaning of the sentence. So don't over focus on the synonyms. If you don't know, don't force and write the wrong ones. I'll give you an example. So one graph was that the graph shows the result of a survey, and my student wrote the graph shows the consequences of a survey. Now consequence changes the whole meaning. result is something else. But if you check from the check the synonyms on the net, of course, result, synonym, consequence is written over there, but it doesn't fit in here. Remember, synonyms are similar meanings, they don't fit in everywhere. You have to be very careful and pick and choose the right synonym. Better not to use if you are not sure. Better repeat the word if you are not sure. Do I need to compare and contrast in each sentence? No. Please don't overuse contrast words, because then your graph starts to lose meaning. Ideally, total comparisons at 4 or 5 places in the whole graph are enough. Eighth question is, where should the overview be written? Should it be written just after the introduction, or should it be written at the end? Both are correct. You can write it anywhere. I used to write overview at the end because Cambridge books follow this pattern. However, it looked forced, and last year I tried putting the overall in the second paragraph. This resulted in most of my students scoring better. So now I recommend writing them in the second paragraph after the introduction. Is it correct to use data in the overall or overview? No, data should not be used. But data doesn't mean what's written on the x-axis. Data are the figures on the y-axis. Look at the two graphs to understand what I mean. So here you see this is a column graph, and on the x-axis we have the names of football, rugby, basketball, badminton, fishing, horse riding. But on the x-axis we have the percentage of people participating in these sports. Okay, so this is data. On the y-axis is data, but on the x-axis is not data. You can use these words in the overview, but you cannot use the percentage. Okay, next is this example. Okay, so in this case, in this case we write the name of the sports, x-axis like badminton, fishing, rugby. In the overall, we can write overall. Fishing is the most popular sports event to participate, whereas football and horse riding are the most popular to watch. Also, fishing is the only sport which has more participants than spectators. So this is how the overview of this graph will go. Then here you can see another graph to give the example. On the x-axis we have the years, and on the y-axis we have the number of the this Atlantic cod, haddock, yellowfin tuna, swordfish. So in this case also we can use the years on the x-axis but not the values on the y-axis. Overall, the Atlantic cod dominated in numbers except for the years 1992, when the yellowfin tuna was the maximum in number among the given 4 species. So here you can use what is given on the x-axis, but you cannot give the number. You can say maximum, minimum, and 1992 has been used in this overview, but no number has been used, so no data has to be used in the overview. Question number 10. How many sentences to write in the overview? I believe ideally 2 sentences is the ideal length. 1 sentence is too short and 3 sentences are too long. With 1 sentence, we are not able to give all the features. With 3 sentences, it starts looking like a body paragraph rather than an overview. So overview ideally should have 2 sentences. I hope these 10 sentences clarify most of your doubts, and if you have any other questions, you can put them in the comment section. I'll try to reply all your queries. Thank you very much for watching patiently, and keep looking out for more videos, especially of the graphs and even the exam questions which are seen.